Welcome back to the Torque Test channel. Our goal today is simple: to find the most powerful 3/8 impact that you can buy. Perhaps you have mainly 3/8 sockets. Maybe you like to save some extra space from those 3/8 sockets that they afford you. Whatever it may be, there's only a few top dog impact wrenches out there offered in 3/8, and this new Matco mid torque is the latest. This is the MCL2038HIW, which we bought about a month ago and have been using it ever since. This guy was going for about $385 a bear, which is a pretty penny for a mid torque, and I think a record in this category, just beating the XGT Makita. But that XGT, while undoubtedly an animal, is not offered in 3/8 drive. Either is its LXT 18-volt cousin, or the DeWalt DCF 891, probably because it would shear a 3/8 anvil clean off, no doubt. But that's what the warranty is for. We want the beans. Realistically, most of the impacts towards the top of our testing are not offered in 3/8 drive these days. The rigid mid torque, nope. Ryobi P262, nah. Cobalt Next Gen, Metabo HPT, Hart does, or at least they did on their mid torque until it became brushless and now only offered in 1/2" drive. Is that because these are just too powerful and that didn't make sense? Well, TTI, who also makes the Hart, doesn't seem to think so, as their Gen 2 2960 is offered in 3/8, and that's rated higher than the lot of them at 550 foot-pounds fastening and 600 foot-pounds nut busting. Well, another impact, maybe the only other one, let us know if we're missing one, also rated like this, is the new Matco. That's like the Milwaukee again, rated for 600 foot-pounds in bolt breakaway, but a lower 400 foot-pounds in tightening. One thing I'm not super impressed with on this guy is its finish is already coming off and wearing away after a few weeks of use, even knowing it was going to make it on the channel at some point. This paint, I don't know if it's powder coat, but the Milwaukee fares much better if you care about that sort of thing. This is our 1/2" 2962, so use your imagination for now, but we do have the 3/8 coming up in testing. The Matco is a longer tool at 6.59, 6.6 inches long to the shortest mid torque on the market here, the M18, but it's also quite light, lighter than the Milwaukee by using a narrower body, which can help in a spot, and that's very reminiscent of the new Bosch mid torque we recently tested in that way. It uses a similar strategy. In very Matco form, it doesn't have any settings or modes to speak of, just full beans, which with a good trigger is not so bad sometimes. I find I kind of like it. Less things to break maybe, but for your money you'd maybe expect a bit more features. The 4 LEDs on the front are nice, but I've noticed half of them are now warmer in color than the other two. Can you see that? Not sure if we got schmutz on those too early on, but cleaning it doesn't seem to change it, so it's pretty weird. This is the last hope for the tool trucks, though, to see what it can do. Mac has basically DeWalt or DeWalt in red with some oil resistance. Cornwell sells Milwaukee on their trucks. Snap-on has the CT9010 for now, which is famously, well, a lot of this and not a whole lot of this. So Matco is the last bastion in this landscape of tool trucks. Our first test is called Working Torque, 5 seconds and forward. Here's the Milwaukee 2960. "360 foot-pounds, and here's the new Matco mid torque. Just 255. I suppose the brands said as much though. Forward torque was advertised as 400 and 550 between them, 27% less for the Matco, which is pretty close to what we're seeing here. Let's dive into reverse torque in our 10-second max torque test. You'll notice how, since there aren't any 1.5" hex impact sockets in 3/8 drive, basically in existence, we use these custom ones we had made for this use, which this was the only forged shape as an option. If you really want to impress your coworkers, you think Snap-on is cool, try $400 a piece sockets that are good for nearly nothing. That's the ultimate flex. Here's both impacts on screen. That's right, both made exactly 406, with the M18 certainly having some more on the curve there, but it seems the Matco is catching up. Not sure how, with a lighter, narrower design. Usually that sort of gains that we see at the end there is a result of more hammer mass and usually diameter at that end, but let's see. Our last test is 15 seconds, best case scenario, batteries fresh off the charger. Best of 3 runs now instead of median runs. One of the most powerful 3/8 impacts we've ever tested is, ignoring Air Tools for a moment, the Makita Compact, actually. Here's a demonstration of the difference going on between a top compact and top mid torque in 3/8. And here's the last run with the new Matco. $437, so not able to top the Milwaukee when looking at their best runs, partly because, and this is a phenomenon largely found in Milwaukee impacts, the 3/8 mid-torque makes more than their half-inch, at least from what we can measure and several other YouTubers have noticed, which is strange and crazy and sort of awesome. The half-inch version makes $451 and puts it quite close to what the Matco made. But either way you look at it, besting not just the tool trucks and today's opponent, but from what we can tell, everything on the market, including 3/8 Air Tools, which is crazy. And it gets even more ridiculous. But let's first rank this new tool. Its testing is turned into points as 26, 41, and 44. As a function of length, where you can fit the tool basically, that's 66.3 foot-pounds per inch. And the tool says it can turn a bolt up to 400 foot-pounds. It did 437 here. It gets top marks with a max of 100%. Good stuff. $385. That's going to be rough. As a function of the torque it made and this price, that's just 17 points, not a lot, which does not help it here either, totaling 294.3, putting it about here. The stats and performance of this one is remarkably like the new Bosch, in fact, power, size, weight-wise. Now, Bosch doesn't make Matco's impacts, but it's interesting to see this sort of approach similarity. What's craziest to me about this matchup is this is with 5 amp hour batteries. Now, larger, higher output packs don't make the mid-torque really shoot for the stars compared to other tools that you put it on, but it is something Milwaukee offers that Matco and many other brands do not. So this widens up the gap even more. This is an HD 12.0, which is silly for sure on this tool, and we've gone through 2 of these battery packs now, just stuck onto 3 bars and not charging anymore past that, so not exactly our favorite pack. But what's even more crazy is that as of 2023, you can now buy Milwaukee, the red brand, well, both of these impacts on the Matco tool truck, because Matco tool trucks now carry Milwaukee. So warrantying out these HD 12.0 batteries is easier than ever for guys like us. I personally think it's awesome that the most powerful 3/8 impact, likely available anywhere by our math, is available like everywhere. The highest torque 3/8 impact out right now might also be the most commonly sold and found in the hands of your average Joe these days, whereas decades ago it was all high-dollar tool trucks and industrial brands like Atlas Copco, Sioux Tools, and others putting tools with that designation in people's hands, and we're all about power to the people sort of situations. We make episodes like this at least every Friday. Thanks for watching.